A new chapter in Egypt's history. The country recently witnessed its first free election, and a new civil president has been appointed for the first time. There were long lines of women outside polling stations, a reflection of the women's desire to participate in the political process. Egyptian women make up half the population, and 49% of college graduates are girls. The women feel they too now have a stake in their country. After taking part in the January 2011 mass uprising, the women of Egypt have been marginalized and largely left out of the decision-making process. Now they're hoping to join forces with the men to realize the goals of the revolution, and are determined to continue to fight for equal rights. Here, in Cairo's populous working-class district of El Sahel, many of the women work to support their families. Some are the sole bread earners in the family, like Hashim, who is widowed and sells vegetables to support her 3 children. I want a small business, a small kiosk perhaps, or a tiny store from which I can earn a livelihood. I want to work to sustain my family. I don't want to have to turn to anyone for help, she says. Many of the residents in this neighborhood are poor and are struggling to survive. Nadia Atiyah lives in this tiny dark cellar with her family. All I want is a clean home, she says. One where there's plenty of sunlight and fresh air. It would make a world of a difference to have water and light in the house. The women here dream of better living conditions and a brighter future for their children. Mervat was forced to drop out of school at an early age, but hopes to empower her children through education. All my children go to school, the girls and the boys. Prophet Muhammad said it is a must to seek knowledge. Not all the residents of this neighborhood are Muslims. At this Coptic Orthodox church, the Christian faithful are attending Sunday Mass. Magda, an elderly Coptic woman, says she comes here regularly to seek solace and pray. I want to live in peace and security without fear among my neighbors. What difference does it make if you're a Muslim or a Christian? She hopes to see an end to sectarian tensions, which have led to sporadic violence in recent years. And this young Muslim woman is plagued by a different kind of fear. I don't want to have to worry about my children when they go out. I want to be able to walk on the street without worrying about harassment or being threatened by thugs and criminals. Sexual harassment is common on the streets of Cairo, and in recent months there's been an increase in the violence against women. In a patriarchal, male-dominated culture, women are often treated as second-class citizens and are at times deprived of some of their basic rights. Fatma, a resident of Banha, a town in Qalyubiyya, says she was deprived of her inheritance. The land left behind by her deceased father has been passed on to her elder brother. In Egypt's conservative village communities, social norms and centuries-old traditions are at the root of discrimination against women. Better living conditions, education and security are some of the key demands of the women here. Health, too, is an urgent priority for them. Maryam, a young mother, has brought her little son Mina for his monthly checkup at this public clinic. She tells us the clinic is far from her home, and it was a long ride to get here. I'd like to see a clinic in every neighbourhood, and I want hospitals to open their doors to both the rich and the poor. In this sports club in the up-class Cairo neighbourhood of Zamalek, visitors represent a different social class. The affluent and elite women of Egypt may be leading comfortable lives, but they too are struggling for greater empowerment. Niveen Salah, a dentist, says women in Egypt have reached high positions and many are well educated. It was disappointing, however, to see the women underrepresented in parliament. I want to see more women in parliament and in government. Basma, whose daughter is an athlete, says she brings her to the gym at least 4 times a week to perfect her skills. Basma is concerned after hearing MPs in the now dissolved parliament call for abolishing laws that allow divorced mothers custody of their children up to the age of 15. This and the talk about child marriages and lowering the age of marriage for girls makes me angry, she says. As Egyptians await the country's new constitution, women are hoping they will be fairly represented in the Constituent Assembly tasked with drafting the new national charter. Only then can women be guaranteed full protection of their rights, as they are the best advocates of their cause.